Hello everybody, it's our old friends Monday Madness and we have another Let's Play for you today, as I say in my sexy radio voice. This is Jonathan, joining you as ever, and I found someone else new today. First of all, who are you and what the hell are you doing in my house?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm the new service staff, and look, I'm just a foreigner, I'm coming in to steal your jobs.
Do you at least have a name?
Pablo?
You actually had to think about that. That's concerning. This is Matthew, everybody. Sorry for him being so facetious. We are playing Papers, Please, which is a game you recommended because it's one of your favorites, isn't that right?
Actually, it is. This was a game that was kind of popular when it came out, but it's like faded out like a fad, which is a shame because there was a lot of really good design in this. And I'm a big believer in games as art, even though the discussion has sort of tended away from that. And as a result, I really want to just break this down. This is going to be me getting my pretentious goggles on and just telling you why it's good and why you must like this, and if you do not, you are wrong.
Yeah, I by the way, completely believe that you have a pair of pretentious goggles just for these occasions. So yeah, no, we're going to have a game of Papers, Please.
They're behind my Ray-Bans.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I shall be starting off, and I think we'll probably switch over at some stage, probably halfway through our narrative experience. But for those of the uninitiated, what is Papers, Please?
So,
initially,
Papers, Please is an interesting game developed by a single guy by the name of Lucas Pope.
I should start off while you're talking away.
The whole point of this game is that you're an immigration officer for a quasi-Soviet era Russian satellite country. It's speculated that you're effectively former East Germany. And then, as a result, as you can see, there's been a war, and now they're opening the border between East Germany and West Germany.
We can adequately describe it as tension, and it's kind of festered, and now things are starting to rumble again, like it was in the mid-80s, I guess.
Yeah. So basically, the first day, as you'll see, is you let only citizens in, but due to diplomatic relationships opening up across all the nations you'll see in this game, you'll have more and more people coming in, and then the whole point of the game is dealing with both the development of an opening border, but the risks of letting more people into your country as well.
And of course, trying to balance work and your own family as well. There's a lot of very subtle facets to this, which I think makes it a more enjoyable experience. But while we talk away, let's start our first day. No training needed. We're just going to walk in and just pretend that we know what we're doing.
No, as you saw, you wonder. I love all these little subtle designs about this. Is that you don't get any training because you won a job lottery.
That's right. You were just allocated this job.
So you're basically just throwing in and just saying, "Here, you deal with it. It's your job, and if you don't, you are at fault, not the state."
Yeah. Great. Well, let's get started then, shall we?
Let's.
No time at the present. And the time present is apparently November 1982. So, this is more or less the bones of the experience, just checking documentation. And this is obviously easy enough because it's just citizens in, foreigners out.
Pretty much.
And this is, from a gameplay standpoint, this is just to help you get a bit of a float going with money-wise, because obviously when you're doing this, you have to look after your family as well while doing this. So the more you work, the more you earn, and the less your family members die of cold or sickness.
Also, as you can see with what Jonathan's doing, a lot of this is done only with the mouse, and so it's also a really good way of ramping into the awkwardness of the controls. The controls were designed to be somewhat awkward to start with.
Well, I would say minimalist would be the best thing to say.
Yeah,
it's literally just mouse and spacebar. That's really it, and spacebar doesn't come into it yet.
Yeah. So it's also just to get used to these slightly wonky controls, which does again add to this this archaic design. I mean, you can see it both with
there's an interesting point. That's just an example of narrative right there.
Yeah.
It's just someone walks in, just leaves. It's at least it's telling you now, either reads a newspaper or just from these people. That's the environment you're living in. This is the world you're living in. So it's just, again, what you said was very subtle indications of what the world is.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, well. It also has very oppressive, depressing, dystopian feel to it, because Your color palette is like this really washed out, faded
there's no
green,
bright colors at all. It's
grey, maroon, brown.
Yeah, it's like if you want to describe Eastern Europe and grey or what's the word I'm thinking of?
The former bloc.
Yeah, not to like denigrate what any Eastern Europeans, but if you describe them in the color, it's this. It's just.
It's
efficient.
Unitarian brown.
Yeah. I haven't seen that on Julek's wall chart, but it's there somewhere, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure its text code is like FF32.
You said that too quickly, you must know that.
Well, I don't think that actually is the X code, because I think hex is like 6 digits, and I think I only put down 3 or 5.
Alright. Again, the fact that you know that is more concerning than anything else.
Computer design, like you pick up some of the worst nonsense bullshit you ever want.
So again, even if we're talking from a gameplay point of view, the game, this first level is telling you, well, first of all, it's teaching you the color passports. I mean, your own Arstotska passport is, pale, is kind of that
turquoise
green, and any colchins would be like that kind of purple color you see. It's just immediately picking up on the different nations in it. Again, all very subtle things that you can either give too much credit for or just something that you notice but never actually.
Yeah. And that actually starts coming into play a bit later because, well, as you see, like it's a very simple rule set at the moment, but like towards the end, you're just going to get a lot more complex.
Yeah, it gets incrementally difficult as more conditions.
And so you're going to have to like learn quite a few like little tips and tricks and mnemonics for yourself. It doesn't tell you to do this, nor does it give you an indication that you should. Yeah. But just for the sake of greater efficiency for yourself, you must learn these like small little things. So you remember I remember for cities, because when you start dealing with foreign nations, you're gonna have to deal with issuing cities.
Yeah, we'll see that in the next 2 days. Let's say.
Yeah.
Some sort of.
I think those come in on day 3.
Something like that. Yeah.
But
even still now, just to kind of cut you off.
Yeah.
The even outright now, you have a minimum of 5 to work with. You have to at least clear 5 people to just break even.
Yeah.
So now it'll be 10. Sorry, because each person you clear is $5 as opposed to 10. Yeah. So even still, you have to do a minimum of 10 to break even, which already kind of says, shit, I have to be efficient.
Yeah.
Straight away. You can't just dilly dally.
Although I will say, is a secret trick. You don't want to do this too much, but take away your food. Alternate food each day, and you will be able to get you actually be able to work more credits.
Yeah.
This will actually help you because later in the game you can start buying better apartments. As you can see in the top right of the screen, you can have class 8. You can get up to class 5, which actually reduces monthly daily expenditure, which therefore means you can actually save more up, which towards the end of the game, when the narrative starts coming into a close, will start becoming very, very important.
Yes.
So
we'll be talking about how the narrative interferes with your own gameplay or with your own personal life as the game progresses.
Yeah.
This is just day 1, so we're only starting off. But we'll see how we get on with day 2 anyway. Because I'm pretty sure this is where, as you can see in the newspaper, actually, we've been told to relax certain things.
Yes.
So we're allowing foreigners in now.
Yeah.
But as you can see now, we are in inspect mode rather.
Yeah.
Where we actually do
have to make sure,
well,
that's what
we are compelled to work now. Yes. So enter must have a passport. Everything that you have must be current. So that's simply it. Yeah. So foreigners are allowed in now.
But all documents. Oh yeah, and yeah, it's day 3 when you have to start worrying about cities.
Yes. So here we go. Just checking expiry now, that's really it, and checking the date, which we know, so that we can let her in.
Also, I want to just point out a very cute little piece of design there, that how these 2 stamps are oriented, because the denied stamp is on the left, which as you can see left side of the screen, that is not Arstotskan. But if you can see the right side of the screen, it's approved, so it's almost as if it's this unification of design, where everything to do with allowing someone into the country is on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, it's really, really. I think it's just a design choice in a sense, but it still ties into it. And we just found our first discrepancy, which is good. We can just put that on our wall and just say, baby's first actual rejection.
Yeah. Although going back to the stamps, I was looking into the guy who made this game actually created a form-based log of how he designed this, which is it's a fascinating read if you're into game development as I am. Apparently this came in really late because originally when he was first releasing the game in alpha on this forum, you had no access to the denied tab until you found an issue, so it sort of appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was only until someone actually pointed it out for him, which is really nice because it's a really good show of like the great advancements in indie development, where you don't have to crowdsource every idea. So like that failed Broken Age thing that Double Fine did, but at the same time, like you can still come to other people and you can find your own editors, as it were.
Yeah.
Which really helps with the indie game development scene as a whole.
That's the thing, the learning as they go. Incidentally, has Lucas Pope done any more other projects, or is this
actually technically this can be said to be a spiritual successor to a game called Republic of Times, which is a Flash game.
That's a thing that's happening. Sorry,
you don't really do much of that. That's so like that's like indicative of an issue, but you don't come across that issue until midpoint of the game.
Yeah, it's just it's something just to put a pin on, as it were.
Yeah.
Again, just saying some other things are happening while you're working. Okay, well, first of all, we can. I think I found the discrepancy right there. Not to be. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. This
narrative
as well.
Narrative has kicked in. Sorry.
Yeah. So you're gonna have people jumping the walls out of impatience, although later on you're gonna have terrorists. Well, actually, sorry, this is a terrorist attack.
I think they believe they're all terrorist strikes at most stages when this happens.
Yeah.
And that's it's tragic, and that's what's happening.
That actually happened back then as well.
Yeah. We see that again. It kind of really reinforces the fact that there's a living world you're in.
Yeah.
There are other stuff happening that isn't circled around you.
Well, yeah. One of the major themes of this game is that you are a cog in a very uncaring machine.
Yes. That is probably the best way to describe Papers, Please.
That little booth window you see people come through. That is your only way of interacting with the world, and that's the only point in time where you matter.
Yeah.
And I love this because like. One of the few things that you don't really get to see in any visual media, game or TV or cinema, is the concept of second-person perspective. That you are telling someone else's story.
Yes.
But someone that you have to interact with. So, just for the sake of summing this up, first person is when you deal with the I. So, like, I interact with the thing, right?
And of course, third person is they
are interacting with the thing. Even though if you control them, they still have an identity separate from you, and it is deterministically separate. Second person is kind of hard to do, especially in cinema, because I interact with you, who interacts with the world.
Yes. And
so you have to deal with this like a middleman. And there's a couple games that does this to some extent. Sorry, this is just our next little piece of explanation that we have to deal with an entry ticket.
Yes, it's there. I suppose the way to deal with people throwing bombs is to give them a little ticket to prove that they are coming in.
Yeah.
It wasn't the greatest plan in the world, but I don't think it lasted that long.
No, it only lasts for like a day.
For instance, we have one here who is doesn't have one. So for anything that like they have missed out or omitted, you like you click on the counter there. There you go, and they give it to you then. And it's on today's date, so that's good. Yeah. It's really, again, that's just for people who are playing this and are thinking, well, how do I point out that...
Yeah, there was apparently a bit of an issue with that during development. Like, a lot of this feedback says, I don't know how why they're missing these documents. And so that's why that bulletin that you now see, it's like the at the booth window towards the left of the screen. Usually, actually, quick tip to metagame this, they're usually all valid. Except for, like, the final one.
Yeah, I noticed that sometimes. It's always like the first one is like an example of what you're looking for, and then the second one is what you shouldn't do.
Yeah, all the brothel girls, they're always valid.
Oh, sorry, I just haven't played this in a while.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
well,
here you go.
Oh yeah, going back to the second person perspective though, so it's really hard to do. And a few games that have done this is obviously this one, the Siren series of games where you have to like view the world through the enemy's eyes to understand where they are, and there's another one that I am forgetting. Oh, but like it's a great way of just showing that instead of you having your own story, that the world has a story that you are part of. You are effectively an NPC.
Yeah, it's peculiar in a way, but I think that's why it was so well received.
Yeah,
because it was just really, really different, and it was so minimalist, and it's so. Just tragic in its execution. It's just like these are things that are happening, and when you're playing it the first time, just things will happen, and you can only react to it.
Yeah. Or
you have a choice to make. What do you do? And it's up to you really do you
Invalid
take the
date on the ticket.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's valid on the 12th, not for the 12th.
right. Yes, that's quite right, isn't it? What's what?
Nah, you
No.
have to check with the date.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right. See, again, it's about getting the right. It's almost like you're kind of forming the sentence of what they want.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. It's almost like you're like in the old text interface. It's just like
Yeah.
blank,
Well, this is
blank.
one of the few. That's one of the few times where it's sort of like game more than world. It's just for the sake of like, you know, so it's a gating mechanism. So so the game can check if like a rejection is valid or not.
Yeah, that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, that's on date.
Yeah. I think Lorian is from Antegra, so I think that's good.
Oh no, I also must say, like, you know, I know this is in the 80s, and the fact that they rely on like pixel based art with some vector scaling on it is just really, really. Oh, this guy!
Yes.
Everyone loves this guy. He's amazing.
Okay, Matty, so tell us about this fellow.
So this is Georgie. He's sort of like your comic relief. He's kind of like
Yeah.
Kermit with a beard.
You take that back, you son of a bitch.
Basically, he's sort of like, you know, just the lovable fuck up character. Like,
Yeah.
he only ever gets in once correctly, and yet he tries almost every third day.
Yeah.
I want to say.
I think this is like your I want to say this is your continuity guy. This is like it's like how you start off in a way, almost like an alter ego in a sense.
Yeah.
A very bad alter ego, might I add. Ooh, this is interesting. Doesn't have a beard anymore.
Now later on, you can verify if this is actually true of the person.
Yes, but for now he can. Solve.
Also, the response, I had surgery, and that's why I don't like my beard is.
And why I've aged 30 years apparently. Yeah, that works.
But just going back to Georgie, like, you know, he's just astonishingly funny, like, because it's just a great way of interjecting some level of humor to the game,
Yeah.
without, like, you know, breaking it too much.
Yes, and we'll see more of Georgie throughout our experience.
His next appearance is the one that gets me the most.
I
I won't give it away, but it's astonishingly funny.
It is magical, and it's just like, yeah. Well, we'll see when it comes out. But so this is now. I like this part because it's giving you an example of all the discrepancies that you can find. So we just saw a guy there with the wrong appearance, wrong gender, no entry ticket. Just gonna deny her real quickly and get one more in.
And the entry ticket itself is actually an introduction for checking out more robust documents later on in the game.
With each day, we're gonna have to have something more to check, and it's just that consistently incrementing difficulty.
Wrong date.
Yep, saw it there. So again, that's 4 discrepancies in a row now. It's getting you in the mood to.
Although I must say, one thing that sort of like works against the game is that because, especially later on when everything starts getting more and more complex and there's a lot more of it, whenever you let someone through, it feels like you fucked up because you know you've missed something.
Yeah, your
And
brain
whenever
is working against you. That is the worst feeling in the world, because like the what happens is if you do get like a citation, there's like a 2-second, there's like a very deliberate pause, and then a little fax comes up on the screen. It's like you're waiting for that fax, and it's like that's an agonizing wait. It really is. And that's our last one, so we can take our time.
On date, right city, passports in on date. No, it isn't. Passports out of date.
So it
27th of the
very
10th.
nice, very nice. I do have a system for doing this, but I was kind of making sure the issuing city was right. Of course, it is Great Rapids because it's the United Federation, which is totally not America.
Actually, no, I think it's more England.
I was thinking Great Rapids as in Grand Rapids.
True.
That's
Like I think you can sort of see similarities between real countries and fake countries, but they're more in the style of than direct adaptations of. You know.
Yeah, I kind of go along with that more. That's day 3, and so far so good. Yeah. We're in clover, comparatively speaking, and I am going to keep them well fed.
Yeah,
I am a very, very loving father.
Fair enough. Oh, sorry,
mother-in-law not so much. But
I forgot you asked me about like Lucas Pope's other work. So I was saying about the Republic Times.
I'll continue on with day 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.